moderate. Fellas, we're back. We got a lot to talk about today.
We got all that pitch clock stuff. For Tommy Johns, and everyone wants to blame the fucking pitch
Well,
clock.
hey, is it the pitch clock though? Is it the pitch clock?
I don't know, Mike. I don't know.
Yes.
No, I don't know, Mike.
You're saying yes out the gate.
Yes, it is.
Well, what do you?
Yeah, why do you think?
What
it's
do you
this?
have to support
Why do you
that,
think
though?
it's? Why do you think?
What have you
Dude,
seen to
what's
support
the,
that?
What's the other option? Because the rate of elbow injuries is just insane right now. I mean, that's already how many Tommy Johns have we started the year with? At least what, 4 or 5, and now we have other pitchers dealing with soreness.
In the last week, we've
That's
had
like-
4 either undergo Tommy John surgery or have UCL damage, including Yuri Perez, Spencer Strider, Jonathan Loaisiga, and Shane Bieber. So, I mean, it is a lot, but I'm just saying, how do you know this is just correlation?
And what's his name for the
not
Astros
causation?
just got scratched.
Like, you get
Fromber
yeah,
just
he's
went
all
down.
yeah. He also has
Framber Valdez.
He's
He
had
has-
some elbow pain recently.
I believe he just got upgraded to day to day because he was listed as out, but now he's day to day. But yeah, still he
get ready, get ready to wait and see, and we'll find out that partially torn
No.
UCL.
It's not because of the pitch clock.
And boom.
I don't think it's
Dude.
fair to say it's either way because of the pitch lock entirely, or the pitch lock has nothing to do with
Yeah.
it. At least right now, it doesn't look like there's been enough research on it. You know, people have their theories. The Players Association apparently have their theories. You guys see their statement that came out over the weekend?
Yeah, apparently they were pretty against the pitch clock
Yeah.
shortening in the first place.
Yeah, hold on. Let's get
I
that
stand with
pulled
the
up.
players
So
union.
this is the statement from the executive director of the Players Union, Tony Clark, regarding pitcher injuries. So this came out on April 6th, so Saturday morning, and then the league swiftly responded a few hours later. So here's the statement from the Players Association. It said, despite unanimous player opposition and significant concerns regarding health and safety, the commissioner's office reduced the length of the pitch clock last December, just one season removed from imposing the most significant rule change in decades. Since then, our concerns about health impacts of reduced recovery time have only intensified. The league's unwillingness thus far to acknowledge or study the effects of these profound changes is an unprecedented threat to our game and its most valuable asset, the players. So that came out sometime around Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. And then MLB came in right after, just a few hours later that night, saying, this statement ignores the empirical evidence and much more significant long-term trend over multiple decades of velocity and spin increases that are highly correlated with arm injuries. Nobody wants to see pitchers get hurt in this game, which is why MLB is currently undergoing a significant comprehensive research study into the causes of this long-term increase, interviewing prominent medical experts across baseball, which today, and there's an independent analysis by Johns Hopkins University that found no evidence to support the introduction of the pitch clock has increased injuries. So essentially this JHU study they're citing didn't really find anything in terms of pace that results in arm injuries. The Players Association and certain players seem to believe that it is the cause, and MLB pretty much denied it exactly. But at the same time, Noah, do you think they acknowledged anywhere in there what could be the actual cause of this?
They did say with all the pitch velocity increase and spin increase, honestly, I think that has way more of an impact on all the injuries than the pitch clock. I mean, you look at pitch speeds the last handful of years, and then it's just gotten up drastically. I mean, pitch speed this year is like almost average fastball speed is like 94 miles an hour this year. Also, another thing is just the amount of sliders guys are throwing anymore. Slider percentages went up like by 10% too. It's insane the change in pitch repertoire and pitch selection, pitch approach to that is went through over the last decade.
See, no, but here, okay, so I feel like it is the pitch clock because, I mean, I want to see a chart showing the rate of elbow injury since it was introduced. It has to be significantly higher.
Well, one thing
Right?
I can tell you, Mike, is the rate in the minors, since the pitch clock has been introduced, has been like exponential growth. It's been growing a ton, at least in the minors. You know,
So I mean,
it's not as
how can
followed,
they
but
not at least point to it and say, yeah, this could be part of the problem? Pretty much to me, my interpretation of it is that they're saying they're basically deflecting it, saying, "Oh no, it's not that,"
yeah, I
and they're
think
just trying to
that's
take the blame off of it. I feel like they should at least acknowledge it as a potential threat.
yeah, that's probably
Yeah,
the most concerning part of it because MLB, instead of being like, oh, yeah, you know, we hear the concerns of our players, you know, we're going to look into this, they instead said, no, you're wrong. This is the study that
Yeah.
yeah,
shows it.
literally.
They did say they're looking into it. I think just having the PR battle go out in public between MLB and the MLBPA is not a good look, especially for a league that has not had a lot of good looks lately.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't get why they would be so against it. And it's like, at least just say like, okay, we understand, like you said, just we understand your concerns, and we're gonna look more into it. I mean, how hard is that to
Yeah.
say? Like,
Yeah, we
how hard is
under
that? Do I like?
It's
I think
not.
that
It's
I
not.
think that this needs more studying and it needs more research into it. So why not just say, all right, well, we'll look more into it, we'll do more research on it and see what we find bad. Fine, but they were kind of abrasive about it. And yeah, like deflected it and was like say like, no, it wasn't this, it was this. It's like, well, I mean, sometimes it can be two things at once, you know. Two things can be true at the same time.
It did say they were doing a new research study into it just to kind of look into the effects of it. But at the same time, I think deflecting it almost kind of looks like you're going into it a little bit closed-minded just because they don't want to be wrong. And I feel like this isn't a change that they want to make if it's bumping up the pitch clock again. MLB on the executive side of things for a pretty long time now, nearly everyone has been like very much pro pitch clock just because of faster games. They think it's helped the viewership bump up, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I'll say this. So I feel like to the casual fans, the pitch clock has been better because a lot of people don't want to sit there and watch nearly 4
100%.
hours of baseball.
100%.
But
Yeah, I
at
don't
the
want
same
to
time,
sometimes.
it's like if it's gonna start causing, I mean, the pitch clock is speeding up these pitchers clearly, and I feel like it just puts more stress on their elbows. So I know you want a faster game, but at the same sense, I want all the best players out there. Like I want to watch Spencer Strider, I want to watch Shane Bieber. Like when I go to the ballpark, I want to see the aces pitch. And
Mhm.
with them getting hurt, it's like, is it really worth seeing a 2 hour game if we're watching the fifth best starter
Yeah.
trying to pitch in the opening day slot or whatever because of injuries?
The one thing I
like,
don't get is
don't
why
know.
they shortened it by 2 seconds. I mean, the average game time has not changed at all.
It wasn't
whatsoever.
fast enough.
And
It wasn't fast enough.
And the pace at which pitchers are going is 0.2 of a second faster. It's not changed that much to eliminate 2 seconds and say, "Oh yeah, we're making a big change." It's not made a change at all. Games are a minute shorter, and pitchers are taking 0.2 of a second faster. That's it.
At least most games this year, it feels like there's been more violations too, which I don't know about you guys. I'm not trying
Yeah,
to see a good
honestly,
at
yeah.
bat end with a pitch clock violation.
Yeah.
Like, please,
God,
God,
no.
no. Yeah. But, I
It's only a
think
matter of time.
really here, I feel like there's a bigger issue at hand with what's actually going on. And I don't know if there's really a way to solve it, at least in the current time, because MLB hasn't really faced an issue like this in a while. Like this has been brewing, but at least in the public eye to the point where it seems like they're going to have to do something within the next probably 2 years or so to kind of address it. So Noah, you mentioned it earlier a little bit, the spin rates and how much clubs now are pushing velocity is insane. It feels like they're pushing velocity more over results. I believe it was Chris Bassett was on Chris Rose's show, and he was mentioning how there was a guy who, he had better numbers essentially overall, but he threw, say, 94, and he became a non-roster invitee. And there was a guy who threw 99, got lit up, and he was invited back. And I think that's something now you're seeing very early on, especially in the developmental stages for these guys, which, once you're coming into A-ball, those are a lot of young arms in there. There are guys that go to A-ball and they're still 17. Like, it's pretty rare, but it happens. And so you get these 17, 18-year-old kids, and then they're coming in and they're being told, yeah, you need to match my spin rate. You need to maximize velo as much as possible, rather than, focus on really the other aspects of pitching that can attribute to better results. Just, here, we're going to have you throw as hard as possible. We're going to get your spin rate as good as possible. And we're going to try and maximize your stuff, which puts an insane amount of stress on their arms.
I mean, one thing that MLB has talked about a little bit and thought about doing was the pre-tacked baseballs, which could help with some of the spin rate things. But yeah, I mean, it's just insane how hard kids are throwing. I mean, we talk about it all the time. We talk about how how insane it's going to be when you have Paul Skeens and Jared Jones pitching back to back, and they're all and they're both of them are averaging 98, 99 mile an hour fastballs.
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to tackle it, because fans, the clubs themselves all see that as a good thing, because it is. But we're going to get a few years down the line. What are the chances one of them gets Tommy John?
I hope not.
What are the chances?
Increasingly higher.
Yeah. What are the chances any young
pitches.
pitcher coming up is going to have to get Tommy John? It almost seems like it's like a ritual at this point. It's not a matter of if. For a lot of these young guys, it's just when is it coming for you? Is it going to happen multiple times? I don't know. But I'm not sure how MLB can address it, just because from a competitive standpoint, teams are adopting this strategy pretty much because it's been proven to work and result in good things for them, especially once they reach the major league level. If, they succeed in velo, spin rate, and their stuff overall. So it's how's MLB going to tell guys no, you can't do that? That doesn't seem possible.
Fastballs.
Say no to velocity. Yeah, you can't do it. So I don't know if this. I mean, one thing I've seen thrown around is a 6th starting pitcher. Do we think that could help at all? Would teams even do that because they know guys can do 5?
Nah, I don't know. But I do feel like as time goes on, we're gonna keep more and more pitchers are gonna start focusing more on control than speed to extend their shelf life. Because I feel like the harder you throw for the over amount of time, it's gonna wear and take wear and tear on your arms.
I don't see a lot of guys doing that, just because we have seen it. There are guys who can throw hard all the time and are able to avoid Tommy John. So I think they're going to want to try to avoid that, especially when the club is encouraging them to exceed in velo, or to succeed with velo and maximizing their spin rate, and saying, good job, giving them more positive reinforcement, especially as they're coming up through the club. Because you're thinking these guys, some of them, especially for guys who aren't top prospects, they don't know if they're going to see the show or not ever. And if they're getting to the point where they're in the minors, they're in AA, you got to fight and claw for everything you get. And if you're the guy who goes down, that just seems like it's a risk you have to take now as a pitcher.
Yeah, but but if clubs are noticing this trend of more and more elbow injuries, as we kind of talked about, I feel like eventually they're all going to start changing their approach to be okay, maybe we shouldn't be trying to throw 100-mile-an-hour fastballs with our starters for 80 pitches a game. I think eventually there'll be a trade-off, especially if there keeps if injuries keep happening.
I just don't know. I mean, again, you're seeing the best pitchers, and they're all throwing 97-mile-an-hour fastballs on average and topping out 100. It just doesn't seem like a trend that's gonna really change over the next couple years. I mean, again, there's guys that succeed with 90 to 95-mile-an-hour pitches, and they work well because they are really good at low cam. I mean, the Pirates have a couple guys like that, Anthony Solomito and Thomas Harrington. They're not really overpowering guys. They probably sit 90 to 95, but again, they're still not. It's still a very large amount. There's what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot more power pitchers than control and finesse pitchers right now.
Yeah, like it's just a messed up situation, man. Like I don't see a world where this gets fixed, but I mean, we'll just have to watch MLB and the MLBPA essentially just kind of duke it out with each other over the next few weeks. And over the next few weeks, we're going to be watching some more of this rotation. And the Pirates rotation has been looking pretty good overall.
Yeah, I mean they've had five straight quality starts. I don't know when the last time that happened, but it just doesn't seem like we've had that many good starts in a row. I mean, you had Martin Perez go out against the Nationals and do great. Then you had Jones, Falter, and Gonzalez follow that up with 3 straight outings with no walks allowed. That was fun to see because it seems like for a while they've just struggled with command and stuff, and then Keller comes out and has a great bounce back outing and goes 6 innings, only allowing 2 runs and striking out 9. It's really nice to see.
Keller's been struggling before that, man.
Yeah, it was the cutter.
Yeah, it was good to see one go through the hoop tonight.
Did him in those first 2 games. He was using that cutter a lot, and you just can't locate it very well. And it's best when it's used as a secondary pitch.
How much do you use it today? How much do you use it today?
About 10-12% when I was looking on Baseball Savant, so it wasn't.
Which is what it should
yeah,
be.
I mean, it's best
especially
used.
not.
It should not be
it's
any higher
being
than
his-
that.
Used when it's a secondary pitch. I wrote about it. It says he did great with it when it was a secondary pitch. When he made it like a primary pitch, he sucked with it. So put it on the back burner, let him cook with his good pitches, and that's what he did today.
Yeah.
I think the biggest surprise was, dude that we absolutely obliterated in the last episode, Bailey Falter.
Hey, I don't know what
6
you're talking
strong.
about, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you mean we? No, yes, you.
I thought it
You-
was mainly you.
It was
Okay,
you, Mike.
yeah, okay. I'll take blame. I did crap on him a lot, but you're not innocent either. Hey, I'm just proud. He went 6 scoreless innings with only 1 hit, and the 1 hit shouldn't even have happened.
True.
Jack Sawinski, Alika Williams, I'm looking right at you, brother. You got to catch that pop up. That's got to be rolled in error. Like, come on, that's such a mental thing. Like, anyone watching baseball understands that that's an error, especially when
This
Bailey
team
Falter
has
has a
been-
no-no. You let him get the no-no.
This team has just been such a just weird team to watch defensively sometimes, man.
Wow.
Like I'll see, especially Alika Williams, man. Like I'll see him make some incredible plays, and then it's little things like that. Okay, that one in the Bailey Falter game was
Yeah, like,
definitely on.
He let that
Sawinski.
drop, and then the very next play made a beautiful, like, he was over the shoulder basket
That one was on
grab.
Sawinski. That one was on Sawinski though. I don't think that's on Alika.
No.
Just because of where that is, he's charging in. It's his job to call him off.
Well, yeah, he's center
I feel like
fielder,
if you're the
he's
center
captain.
fielder,
So,
like that's your ball and you're coming in, or you gotta say take it and give him some some time to figure it out if you don't think you're gonna make it there. But yeah, it's just every once in a while. But no, let's stay on Falter for a little bit. The president of the Bailey Falter fan club, Noah, you're here.
Yeah, I am.
How were you? I know you were grinning from ear to ear watching that
Dude,
entire start.
I was so happy that he was actually had a good start because I know every time he starts, I say that he's going to do good, and I was finally right. I mean, granted, it was only his second start.
What do you think? What do you think it was that changed to him? Because the start in Miami, man.
He was just locating better up in the zone. His fastball works best up in the zone.
Mhm.
It has
Yep.
good spin. He has good extension. He needs to work further up in the zone, and when he has good location, which he can have, he's gonna do good. He only got 1 strikeout, but he got so much weak contact, and a lot of it was just like pop flies and stuff into the infield and shallow outfield, which was nice to see. But like, just if he works up in the zone, he's not gonna allow very hard contact. Nobody can get on top of
the
it.
main thing,
or under it
main
to
thing
hit
was
a home run.
fastballs up in the zone, and he was locating them really well. And that's what Quintana did really well with the Pirates. Is like they both have this pretty same fastball velocity, pretty
Same
much like
fastball
90,
velocity, same
92.
movement. It's
It's
very
like
similar.
right in that ballpark. Yeah. So and we saw Quintana have success with the Pirates, and he typically uses fastball up in the zone. So I feel like if Falter gets that down, I feel like that's where his success will come from, for the most part, because he has not a high velocity.
Yeah. Noah, we got it pulled up here. I'm not sure exactly when you wrote this last year, but this is directly from the article you wrote about Falter. You said, next thing is to get Falter to throw his four-seam fastball up in the zone more often. One of the comparisons Savant made was based on pitch velocity and movement is 2022 Jose Quintana, who he did great for the Pirates that year. And Quintana's four-seamer in 2022 had almost identical velocity and spin to Falter's fastball now. Quintana worked more up in the zone more often than Falter has, and Quintana saw some more success. So, Noah, you called it even a year
pitching
ago.
Coach.
Yeah. Not even going to lie, Noah. Didn't even read the article.
Now, I wrote that last year when we acquired
Hey, well,
Falter.
maybe somebody in the Pirates organization did between the Miami start and then this past week for him to figure it out.
Bro, I feel bad for Bailey Falter. When they were doing introductions at the home opener, Bailey Falter's name gets called, and then all of a sudden you just hear, "Woo." It was like mixture of boos and cheers, and I felt so bad.
Dude,
I was like,
I
know
my
he didn't
God.
do good,
Did
but
you?
like, come on.
No, I haven't seen someone I felt like that was this disliked by a fan base in a while. And
Before our first home game.
yeah, I was scrolling on Twitter the day of the Bailey Falter start, and I was scrolling through the replies of the tweet, and somebody photoshopped Bailey Falter's face over Osama bin Laden.
I saw that.
It's just, I don't think it ever reaches that level where that is necessary. And then he goes out and shoved. So we need to find that tweet and check in on that guy and see how he's doing. But like, I mean, that just like there was that one, that bad example, but there were a lot of other ones out there that were just pretty similar in terms of just like, a lot of comments saying like, oh, we're losing today, Bailey Falter's the worst. It was that perception going into it, but
I can't even say that.
Higher
I'm
fastball
innocent.
usage.
I didn't type it on social media, but I definitely thought it.
You didn't send out an Osama meme, did you?
No, I didn't put. I have no hate of Bailey Falter on the internet, other than what I said on this podcast. But like, I would never go out there and just be so out of pocket. Like, I'm at least optimistic that Brother's gonna turn it around.
Yeah, and I mean on Saturday, he got some great framing behind the plate by the newest Pittsburgh Pirate, Joey Bart.
You know a lot about Joey Bart. The second overall pick in 2018.
About a week ago, when he got DFA'd by the Giants, I was kind of joking about it. I was kind of joking, also kind of serious. I didn't think that they would actually do it, but I was saying like, oh, Joey Bart to the Pirates. You know, that could definitely be a thing that happens. And I was partly joking just because I thought it would be funny with how closely I've been following Bart since back at his Georgia Tech days, all the way up through the minors to his debut with the Giants, and then over the last few years since he got essentially cast off by that team with Patrick Bailey coming up. And then when was the trade? Thursday that it came out?
I'm not 100% sure.
Or was it early in the week?
I feel like it was definitely before that. It wasn't a day before the home opener. His home opener was Friday.
Was it the day of the home opener? I think it was actually.
It was not the day. It was not.
Yeah,
it was
because
not the day.
to
It was
40,
not.
man.
Okay.
It was not the day of the home opener. But just to give you guys a little bit of background on how this show is kind of constructed. So, this past week we wanted to save pretty much as we could to have to say. So I felt really bad for Noah doing this, especially, but he made it. I was surprised, but we decided that we're not going to talk like about the Pirates, like really at all, like in our group chats, anything, unless it's purely like transactional, like, oh, this happened. And I was on a run and I get a text and it was like, hey, Joey Bart's getting moved to the Pirates. It's getting announced in like 2 minutes. And I was like, okay, I need to say something to this group chat. So I called the group chat and I'm like, guys, you're not going to believe it. Joey Bart is now a Pittsburgh Pirate. And Joey Bart is a Pittsburgh Pirate. What's the return looking like going back to the Giants, Noah?
We sent back the 8th round pick from last year, Austin Strickland. He was He was ranked as the 302nd best prospect in the draft by Baseball America. I mean, he's not any of the Pirates' top prospects. Granted, I mean, Bart was DFA'd, so I didn't expect them to be like sending back.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
Michael
honestly
Chandler.
surprised the Giants were able to get that much back for him.
I mean, I don't know. Is it really that much back? What do we know about this dude? Because I don't know anything about
Nothing.
him.
He's an
This
eighth
is a
round
Noah
pick.
moment right here.
This is, I mean, he's
Yeah,
I
eighth
mean,
round
it
pick of
is
last year.
It's just a, it's basically just them taking a flyer because he was
Yeah.
DFA'd. You're not going to get very much
That's
from
what I
someone
meant
who's
in the
DFA'd.
sense that like we don't really know anything about him just because this early hadn't even played any minor league games yet. I believe it was before the minor league season even started down in A-ball. So it's like we don't really know anything other than whatever the Pirates saw from him in camp. But from what I believe, the Pirates are getting in Joey Bart, and that is a very important part of that statement is believe, because I have been a believer in this man for so long. Since he was drafted, even when he was up with the club, the struggles he had while he was up in San Francisco, which I think were really ostracized by the fan base that was upset for a wide variety of reasons. Especially, Bart did have some injury concerns in there. He'd missed time here and there. But he was drafted essentially when Posey was going on the way out. And he was called up in 2020 when Posey was gone. So a lot of Giants fans in their head, it was a lot of, oh, he's the guy now.
Yeah.
He's the generational talent, first ballot Hall of Famer, our next Buster Posey, because he was a super high pick. I mean, Posey was what, like 5th overall in the draft, maybe even higher than that when he was drafted. Bart was 2nd overall. And so they're thinking, oh, we drafted a catcher this high. He's going to come up. He's going to be the guy immediately. He showed some really good flashes in San Francisco. I don't think he got as much of an opportunity to develop as he should. Giants had stuff where during that time, at least from when he was coming up in development to the system, you had a little bit of a shift. Bochy went on the way out. Kapler came in with his system that didn't really work at first. They came in 107 wins. And then pretty much after that, Patrick Bailey got called up and he became the shiny new guy at catcher. And Bart kind of didn't really have a place to go. I was really surprised they didn't just keep him to be the backup catcher. I think he's still better than Tom Murphy. But I am so excited that he's on this team.
See, I think it makes a lot of sense for the Pirates too. Like you said, it's like you guys took a flyer on Austin Strickland, and it's the same way we are with Joey Bart. I mean, you got Jason DeLay's hurt, Yasmani Grandal's hurt, so we don't have a backup catcher, and he's right there on the market, so why not go get him? I mean, it's low risk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, potentially a high reward for as high of a draft pick as he was. I mean, Davis is struggling. So, I mean, got to do something.
Yeah, I mean, Bart's done great since he's gotten here. I mean, it's only been 2 games, but he already has 3 hits, one's a double, one's a home run, a walk, and only 2 strikeouts in 9 plate appearances. Small sample size.
4 RBIs.
4 RBIs, but small sample size, but he's looked great so far. I'm very happy that we picked him up now because he's been exactly what they need, because if Delay is out for a while, the Pirates' next option, if they had to go to someone in the minor leagues, would have been Carter Bins. Carter Bins was who they acquired in the Tyler Anderson trade back in 2021, and he's I mean, he's okay. And that's
that's quite a fall off,
like,
there, man.
So we need to find someone. It kind of seemed like they scrambled a little bit, but getting Joey Bart as the second catcher is completely fine by me. I'm totally fine with them taking the flyer.
I miss Andy Rodriguez so much.
Me too. I miss.
Why did he have to have Tommy John?
I miss Andy. But I mean, in the meantime, dude, what's going on with Davis?
He's struggling.
Jesus, don't even get me started, dude.
He's in a big slump right now.
That home opener.
Because I could definitely see Bart taking that catcher one spot.
I mean, I don't want that to happen.
It's a good problem to have in a sense that you do have someone
I mean,
who does have the potential that Bart still does have. But
like
Davis, man.
If Bart's going to keep hitting the ball, then I'm not going to complain. But it is a little alarming that our first overall pick is not hitting the ball, and that is why we drafted him, to hit the baseball. Like, I mean, at that home opener, man, 3 Ks in every strikeout. The brother was just like 10 years behind. Like, he was late on everything.
He's been struggling.
He just
with
looks
high
so
heat.
out of whack.
He's been struggling with high heat, and it's upsetting to see. I'm just hoping that maybe it's just him still trying to get used to the majors. I mean, sometimes it can take a player a year or two. So I'm just hoping that he can get together soon. I think he's on a hitless streak like 0 for 15 or something right now. I really need him to do good because
it feels like more than
riding
that, but I'm sure that's about right.
I'm riding on him to help us very much this year. At least he's done good defensively this year. I'll say that. He's looked great defensively.
That is true. I do know Bart can play first as well, pretty solid. So in case that ever is a need, in case anyone goes down or Joe or Tellez stop performing and they want to slide somebody in there.
Yeah. I feel like too, Bart, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but I wonder what that means for Yasmani Grandal. Like, does that mean he's going to be out longer than we expected?
I feel like he's gonna be out longer than they're saying. I'm gonna be honest. I said this
earlier.
earlier.
What was it again exactly? What was the exact term of it? I know it was a foot injury, but like
they said plantar fasciitis, I think.
Oh jeez.
I'm just saying. I'm getting real
I was kind of curious
vibes
to see how that was gonna work out, but
I'm getting real
like
vibes
Bart,
to Lonnie Chisenhall and Harlan Garcia of just us signing someone and they just never play in the major leagues.
Harlan Garcia never ever played a single inning for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He was hurt the whole season.
I could see Grandal getting, depending on when he comes back, if Bart keeps performing, I could see Grandal getting either just released or traded somewhere.
I would like to assume somebody would pick him up.
He's on a 1-year deal. He's only on a 1-year deal, and he's getting paid, I don't know how much, like $11 million or something. I don't know if there'd really be that much of a suitor other than just eat the cost and send him on his way wherever.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you could take some of the costs. There's got to be someone who would need a backup catcher in July, or I'm not sure exactly when he's coming back, but it doesn't really sound like there's an exact timeline for him yet.
Yeah,
it just kind of be if there's a suitor, then sure. If not, I mean, you got to keep Bart, right?
Bart doesn't have options left.
You got to keep.
That's why the Giants
DFA'd
him.
Like, why would you even bring in Grandal at all? Really? I mean, at that point, like,
but if
I would
Grandal
rather
stays
have
healthy,
the guy with upside than the guy on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, but if Grandal's healthy, Joey Bart's not a Pirate right now. We wouldn't even be having this conversation. So I mean,
still though, we're gonna.
But now that he's out,
but Davis. So, I don't think Davis is ever getting sent down again with how much he's been struggling into the season.
It's just how thin we are at the position.
Again.
It's kind of hard. You might be able to send him down if Endy was healthy, because at least then we have a catcher. But like, we don't right now. It's Joey Bart and Davis.
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, for when Grandal comes back.
Yeah, well, I guess if Grandal comes back and Bart is still producing at a decent level, then and if Davis is still struggling, I wouldn't be surprised if they send him down, even if it's just like a week or two. A week or two, just let him figure it out. Man. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, how much is a week?
What's he
You're gonna send a guy
now?
down AAA
it's
for a
sub
week.
150.
You're gonna send a guy down for a week. What's he gonna possibly do in a week that's gonna really dramatically?
Okay, I'm just saying, a week or two, let him fine tune some things, let him clear his head. Maybe it'll
all
just.
I'm saying.
Hey, we know Key Brian like to meet with some of the minor league coaches, and look how that worked out for him.
Major Key.
All I'm saying is that if Grandal comes back, we're really gonna be saying, all right, this is who we want as our backup catcher, like a mid-30s catcher with foot issues. Just saying.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm saying trade him.
No, there's
got to be someone
problem.
Who needs a backup catcher.
That's a July problem. When we're ready to unload him.
We'll cross it. We'll cross it when we get there. Mike, you were at the home opener on Friday, weren't you?
Indeed, sir. Yes.
How did it go for you over there?
Oh, Oh, the crowd was electric, despite it being 40 degrees, and we literally experienced every element. It snowed, it rained, it hailed, and it was sunny. All within a 9-inning span. I swear
That's
to God.
Pennsylvania weather for you
There's
right
that
there.
one plate appearance where Tellez and they were showing it. It was just like
Dude, yeah, it was just pouring snow. Because it was just snow everywhere. That was one of the plate appearances. I think Tellez just wanted to get the hell out of there. It literally was the first pitch. He check swung and it fouled off into the backstop. And then the next two, he stared at it go right down the middle. The most pitiful at bats I've ever seen. I was like, brother, if I gotta sit here in this cold, you gotta do it too.
Yeah, I'm not sure how close you were to the mound, but what was it like seeing Jared Jones live?
Oh, dude, it was electric. The first inning.
The first time seeing him live, right?
Oh yeah. First inning. This is the craziest thing. I don't think it's ever happened to me at any ball game I've ever been at. So, first inning, he comes up and strikes out Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman. Oh my God, the crowd's already pumped. 2 Ks off 2 of their best hitters. No, they are the 2 best hitters, not 2 of. And then I don't remember who was batting third, but he gets up there, gets 2 strikes. The entire stadium stood up.
First inning.
When do you stand up in the first inning?
I saw that too.
We were all standing to get the K, but unfortunately, the dude flew out the right field, which we didn't really care. End the inning.
Still
Yeah.
We wanted that K.
Inning.
But I was like, I've never been a part of that where they just stood up in the first inning. Like, it was just so hype. There's a different energy about this Pirates team that just wasn't there last year.
Absolutely.
And I think Jared Jones is a big part of that.
Was it Cody? You guys know Cody Duncan? He said Jared Jones should have been number 1 overall in the 2020 draft.
Well,
with how bad that 2020 draft has been, just overall across the board, I think he's right.
Honestly,
to be honest,
I know people were like making fun. I was like, have you looked at how the 2020 draft has like played out? It's the best pitcher in that first round was Reed Detmers. And Reed Detmers isn't bad, but he has not been, he was selected 10th overall, and he has definitely not played like the 10th best player in that draft. I mean, or should be part of a draft.
Yeah.
I mean, this first, I'm going to be honest, hindsight's 2020, but if there's a full college season, high school season played, scouts are allowed to travel because that was right when COVID hit. Everything was shut down. All amateur season were canceled. I really do think that Jones goes pretty high much higher than where he went. He went 44th overall, I think. I think he goes like mid first at the very least. If a full college season, full high school season is played,
especially knowing what we know now,
and scouts are allowed to go and visit players, watch them play in person, because that's such a major difference in scouting that year. I mean, you're relying on footage that is like a year old because the season barely even started. I mean, how many games did our college get into before everything was shut down?
Yeah, I mean, watching him even early in the minors, you can just tell, like, man, dude, this guy's fastball is electric. And seeing it at the major league level, it looks better than everybody else. Everybody else I've seen. I'm so serious when I say this. I haven't seen a guy in a long time where the ball, just the way it moves out of his hand is just different. We can get into spin rate, all that if you want to, but no, just by look, it's one of the best looking fastballs, if not the best in the majors now.
When he throws 95, it still looks like it's 100 miles an hour coming out the hand.
I mean, he's already showing that he's going to be a premier strikeout guy in this league. I mean, he is 17, I believe right now, 17 Ks. And I think after that start that was tied for second most in the bigs. At that point, I could be wrong on that, but yeah, I want to say I saw that. No,
you're in the ballpark.
At least upper echelon.
I mean, I know now his strikeout percentage is over 35. It's at 35.4.
Man, it's been a hot.
Noah, how's he doing for you in fantasy? Huh? He's doing pretty well for you.
I picked him up before his first start, and you got on me bastard. Because I dropped Brandon Fox for him. You got on me for dropping Brandon Fox. I was like, I'm gonna tell you now, Jones is just gonna shove.
And of course you played me in fantasy.
So fun to watch.
My team is just so mean.
Yeah, you got me. Hey, you guys just wait till I got Skeens coming up, man. Noah, you're the farm boy. We got any Skeens updates?
People think that skiing's gonna come up in early May.
I
which would
saw
be
May
massive. I
3rd.
mean, the Pirates.
May
I mean,
3rd.
I hope so, man.
yeah,
I
saw
need him
May-
to
that's
start.
That's when I saw too. That's when I saw too. May 3rd against the Colorado Rockies, which will be a great way to introduce him.
Oh,
to the major leagues
dude.
and mow
Is
down
there-
some
we
of
might
Is
the-
get
there
a
a
no-hitter.
reason that it's May? Is there a reason that it's May 3rd in particular, other than that they're playing the
Because that's-
Rockies?
That's the I think it's the first home series of that month, so you're coming back from a road trip. Imagine calling Skeens up and just going. Dude,
You got to
I'm
call
gonna
him up
feel
at
so
home.
bad for the
You
Rockies.
got to.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I feel like it would be
Dude,
a
that's
pretty close
Bob
to
wants
sold-out
those
crowd.
ticket sales for sure. It should be.
But here's a big thing.
It
that
should,
I've
unless
seen.
it's May like a random Monday game.
Because
but-
realistically, say Bailey Falter's
When's
still
May,
pitching.
when's May 3rd?
and-
Oh, Friday night game? Maybe it's a night game.
Oh.
Could be a day game, but probably a night game. Yeah.
I'd like to assume
Sell
that it
out.
would be a night game. I mean, because
if you gave everyone like a 2 days notice, just kind of be like, hey, this is happening, by the way, if that's possible, then yeah, sell out 100%. I may fly in and be there.
realistically, who's excited to see the Colorado Rockies? Like, Paul Skeen's gonna put people in their seats. I don't
Dude,
care
I'm
how
gonna-
good the
dude, he's
Pirates
gonna
are. No one's
mow
gonna
down
come to
those
see the
Rockies
Rockies.
hitters. Those poor Rockies.
Which is how it is.
Yeah, I mean, he's at 2 starts so far. He's looked pretty good. 1 walk, 1 hit, but no, he's developing a new pitch, right?
Well, it's kind of a reworked pitch. He's always thrown a changeup, but now he's throwing a really hard changeup. It's averaging 94, 95 miles an hour, which if he was called up now and he kept throwing that way, it would be the hardest thrown changeup in baseball right now,
Shush.
along with Yohan Duran, which a lot of people have said it's a very similar pitch as like his splinker that they call it,
A
because it's
splinker.
it has the speed of a sinker, but with the movement.
It's a fun
of a
name,
splitter.
isn't it?
And it's kind of the same thing.
Splinker.
It's kind of the same thing. It's his changeup. It's a changeup that moves at the speed of like a fastball or sinker.
So what's the so then with this pitch in particular, what would be, I guess, the motivation for throwing a 95 splinker changeup, whatever you want to call it, as compared to something traditional for him? Like, has it just not really worked out for him?
I mean, I hate when people say this. I've seen this all on Twitter, and I fucking hate it. People say that, his fastball shape isn't good. Dude, I'm so annoyed with that, and I think that might be why they just want him to have another really elite pitch, just in case. But, dude, I hate when people say, his fastball shape isn't good. It's like, all right, well, go step in the box and try, or just go look at some of the animations of, like, him just throwing 99-mile-an-hour pass hitters. It's like, you're not getting... I don't care if his fastball doesn't have, like... isn't rising to the heavens, dude. He's throwing so hard, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was gonna
Ju-
say. I
just
don't
so
think
we-
it matters
99,
if it's
100 miles an
moving
hour.
that much. If it's going 102.
Just so we can cover it for maybe some of the people who don't know, Noah, what do you mean exactly by fastball shape?
Just average movement. It's basically just has average
Okay.
movement.
Okay.
I mean, it really does not matter. He's throwing 102. Like, what does the movement have to... I mean, eventually you're gonna get figured out, but like 102 is 102. I don't care what
Hey,
anyone
man.
says.
He may have to figure out some pitches, some new movement on some new pitches if MLB decides to come in and Rob tells him, hey man, you can't be throwing 102 anymore. Your elbow's gonna fall off. It's not allowed.
No, do not spin the story on me like that. Paul Skeens
Let
is
him
allowed.
cook.
He is the
Let him
exception.
cook with 101 mile an hour fastballs.
I really don't think it'd be that. I don't know. The way he throws, I feel like it's like not traditional. So I feel like he knows how to manage it. It's like he comes out of like
It's
almost
pretty
like a
low effort. It's a
3/4
pretty low effort.
Yeah, like
delivery.
it doesn't look like he's like putting all of his like effort into it, and it's still going 102. Like it just
Yeah.
doesn't look like he's putting that much stress on his arm.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so excited for him to come up. But I mean that's still we still got a ways, but it'll happen pretty soon. Hopefully May 3rd, maybe, allegedly. But we should probably talk about how the team overall has been doing a little bit lately. We had the Baltimore series, Washington over the last time since we all last got together and talked. A lot of stuff happened in both of those series other than just the starting pitching. it seems like, okay, it's chilled out over the last few days, but the base running was still atrocious. There's some other things that are kind of going on around the diamond as a whole. Do you guys have any notes from either of those games or some main takeaways you guys had?
Jared Triolo got thrown out at home, which, dude, that was so... O'Neal Cruz hit a ball that if the wall was in another foot, it's gone, okay? He goes around, he kind of like stumbles around second because he's not 100% sure if it's going to go, but he doesn't take off running immediately after he sees the ball hit the top of the wall. And he gets thrown, but we still send him home anyway, and he gets thrown out at home. And it's like, how many times have we seen this happen where we just get thrown out at home on something we clearly shouldn't have sent him home?
It's happened a lot, man. I've seen it around the league. I feel like base running right now is some of the worst I've ever seen in Major League Baseball as a whole.
Dude.
Oh my god.
For the Pirates, they've been one of the worst defenders.
It's Rabello, right?
that-
It's Rabello as our third base coach.
Yeah, Rebello.
Rabello, what do you be cooking? We should not have this many runners thrown out already. We've played 11 games.
I just feel like this team
11.
I just feel like this team could be elite if they could just stop doing stupid stuff. I mean, it's just all fundamental things. It's like, oh,
what
a
else
drop
are they
ball
doing
and-
that's stupid, Noah? What else are they doing?
Just
that's
like
stupid?
like we talked about earlier with the miscommunication and just errors. It's just simple things. It's like dropping a ball, two outfielders, both of which are like really good defenders.
Michael A.
don't
Taylor, the
communicate,
Gold
and a ball
Glover.
drops in between them. Alika Williams and Jack Sawinski can't catch a fly ball that was dropped in between them, and it ends a no-hitter. It's just things like that. And I mean, we saw it in the opening series with, Jared Triolo couldn't catch an underhand throw from O'Neal Cruz. Mitch Keller almost throws a ball into center field. Luckily, we still get out on it. It's just like simple things like that. It's like, just
I mean,
be smart about it. That's really all I
and
can say
I
about it.
guarantee you this wasn't on anyone's checklist for the start of the season, that Key Brian Hayes already has 3 errors before he even got to receive his Gold Glove at the home opener.
That was upsetting.
Nobody saw that one coming.
Let me say something. I watched Pedro Alvarez so much when I was young that I have PTSD every time a ball is thrown from third base. Every time. I don't care who has been at third base since Pedro Alvarez. I've watched David Freese. I've watched Colin Moran. I've watched Key Brian Hayes. Every time a ball is hit to third base and they have to make a throw to first, I cringe because I watched Pedro Alvarez sail a ball 10 feet over the first baseman's head so many times when I was like 12.
Well, Key Brian Hayes is a significant upgrade over Pedro Alvarez. So.
Which even though it's Key Brian Hayes, I still do it. Even though I know that this is probably not going to go over the first baseman's head because he's such a good defender, I still do it.
Dude, another one is Cruz.
You
Cruz
know,
already
Noah,
has
I
3 throwing errors. He had one tonight.
I say no.
Luckily, they
I
made
think
nothing,
you've just been cursing Pirates defenders. I don't think we can have you say, whether it's on air, in our group chat, anywhere, that someone is good at defense, because they have been horrible. Pretty much every person you've said has been good at defense has been awful this entire season. Well, okay, maybe not awful.
Okay, to be
maybe
fair,
not
it's
awful.
Key Brian
but
Hayes.
they like Key Brian Hayes, like, range is still good, all that. But they've made a lot more errors than they normally would. And I think maybe it's just something where you put it out there, and then, maybe somewhere the baseball gods decide, nah,
I'll just shut up about it now.
we need to prove Noah wrong a little bit today.
I'm just gonna shut up about it because I'm so
Yeah,
frustrated.
honestly,
with some of this
probably-
defense.
Probably a good idea. But guys, we need to talk about Bednar.
Oh,
What's
dude.
going on, man? What's going on?
I don't know. I personally think he might still be hurt. Like, maybe.
From his lat strain in spring, yeah.
I mean, it could just be from like lack of reps. I mean, like we
Is
said,
anything down for him compared to where it would normally
Not
be,
really. I
either
mean,
no,
velo wise or
he's
anything?
thrown-
I haven't seen anything.
No, it wasn't.
I just think, I'm gonna be honest, I'm still chalking up to just trying to knock off the spring training rust, because how many games did he appear in? Like 2 or 3? He didn't really get a full spring training. He's kind of still in that mode of just still trying to ramp up.
He's pitching 5 games total, right? 5.
Yeah.
So I mean,
he would have probably made 5 appearances in spring training if he was healthy.
yeah. But I think they should potentially look into flipping Bednar and Chapman.
I don't think I
Not
go to that point
because
yet.
I think Chapman should be the closer, just because like I said, I think he might be injured, and I feel like maybe him going to the 8th, it just takes a little bit of stress off of him. maybe get his mind right.
I think as a temporary
up.
thing, that could be a good idea. Just tell him, hey, we're not really taking the closer job away from you.
Yeah, like, we're not
we still
demoting
believe
you.
in you. It's just, you had a shortened spring. We still want you here. We're not going to send you down like on a rehab assignment or anything. Like, we still want you here to be able to figure it out. Yeah, no, that actually sounds like that could work.
They could do a closer by committee thing. They could also do like closer by committee. That too
Yeah,
with
I mean,
Chapman.
I feel like that's partly what they're going to end up doing anyway.
I mean,
with
dude,
how good
Chapman's-
Chapman has been too.
Chapman's came in
He-
the most
oh
high
my
leverage
God,
situation
man.
so far. I mean,
Yeah.
like, look at today. I mean, we had bases loaded.
Do you guys
one
see
out.
that 102 fastball on the black today?
Yeah.
Dude, he's looked as good as. I'm just being honest. I've never seen Chapman this dominant since his time with the Reds. Even
It's
then,
be-
I
he
think
was
he
just
looked
born to
even
be a
more
pirate,
dominant than
man.
that.
That
He was
it's
born
so
to be a
it's so
pirate.
cursed considering that homie like broke McCutcheon's ribs way back in the day. Nobody ever would have predicted that this dude was gonna be a pirate.
You would have given Pirates fans an aneurysm in 2013.
It's
If you
okay.
told them in a decade that Aroldis Chapman's gonna be our setup man.
It's all right.
Props to Ben, man. I think that was one of the most underrated signings. It was one of the most random signings of the offseason, but he's looked better than he has in years. No, like Noah, you said it, or Mike, you said it. One of you said it. Like, it's the best he's looked since he's been on the Reds. I 100% agree.
I mean, we've already gotten the 2 Chapman stare downs, getting those clutch
Oh, I
Ks.
love it.
It's like
I love
it's
it.
so
Or this
glad. I'm
bullpen
so
is
glad
How
we're on
long
this-
until
on his
he
side.
gets into a fight with somebody because of that?
Dude, I do not care, bro. You see how big Chapman is.
I
That brother
am
would
am ready
mess
for
somebody up.
for him to strike out Ellie De La Cruz, stare at him a little too long, and then here we go.
Oh, I don't care,
Okay, I'm
dude.
just saying.
I
I don't
feel like
We
it's
have
on the
Rowdy
horizon.
Tellez in the dugout.
It's on the horizon with somebody.
All I'm saying is that when you're throwing 101 mile an hour on the 101 miles an hour on the black, I don't care how long you stare him down. You deserve it.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, little things here and there that still need to be improved upon. But at the end of the day, guys, we're talking about a team that is 9-2. Granted, they did play the Marlins at the start of the season, who are looking like one of the worst teams I've ever seen. But that aside, this is still a 9-2 team sitting at the top of the Central. And looking ahead, we got Detroit again tomorrow, Wednesday off day, Philadelphia at Philadelphia on the weekend. That's going to be a big series for this team.
In-state rivalry, it's always good. Dude, it don't
In-state
matter. It don't
rivalry
matter
in
if
Philly.
they're good
in
or
Philly,
bad.
4 games too. 4 games in Philly.
Brutal.
I can't do this, dude.
I think
I can't do this.
one thing that encourages me about this team is that I know we've had a lot of miscues, base running, fielding, but the bats have been so hot. And I feel like that is what we need through this stretch, because if we weren't hitting, I think we might be 2-9, not 9-2. And because right now the Pirates are 4th in run differential, trailing only Cleveland, Boston, and Atlanta. Which is, when's the last time we done that? God,
And
I don't
they've
even
all
know.
been super hot too.
Yeah, we're
You're
plus
saying
we're
we're
plus
above the
21
Dodgers right
run,
now?
run differential.
We're
So
above the
Better than the
Dodgers.
Dodgers.
literally,
This team's always been better than the Dodgers. Dodgers don't have the power of friendship.
it doesn't matter. We always own them. We swept them in
True.
their building with our 60-win team.
When is that Dodgers series coming up?
Ah,
Let's get that play. That's in a while. Oh, June at PNC, June 4th through the 6th.
That's gonna be electric.
don't the Angels come too? I believe.
We'll play
Yeah,
all
Trout-
30 teams now with the
Trout's
schedules.
coming into town.
I
too.
know the Phillies come to
Trout's
town on
Trout's
my
coming
birthday.
in. Trout's
In
coming in
July.
early May, which I mean they're right after the Rockies series, so we could see Skeens versus Trout.
That'd be
Dude.
that'd be awesome. That'd be the best Trout matchup since the World Baseball Classic.
No, it's better. Skeens better. Dude,
Skeens is better than Show Parlay Otani.
Show parlay. Oh my god, that was good. I give you credit for that one. That was good.
I unfortunately can't take credit for that one. I saw the meme where someone edited the LA on his hat and then put parlay
What?
and spelled it out.
What parlay?
But yeah, man, great great time to follow the Pirates right now, man. It really is. You guys got anything before we head out today?
This is the best start we've had since '92, which I can believe it. I just saw MLB posted that today. '92 start, best start the Pirates have had, and I mean that's what over 30 years.
You know the
I
Pirates
wasn't even
are
thought
doing
about.
well. I saw a graphic. I think it was from Jay Kuda a few days ago, and it was essentially like each team, how much MLB has posted about each team, and the Pirates were in like the top, I think 6 or 7, which
I mean,
that never happens.
How can you leave them off any top 10 list right now, being 9-2?
Yeah, well, granted, it was like the Dodgers were at like 50, and then the Pirates were at like 20. But hey, they were still top 10 for sure at the least. But
hey, it's just good to be included in that list. We're just used to being bottom 25 through 30.
Oh man, yeah. All right, well, okay. They're queuing us to get out. So, next show will be next Monday. We're coming back. So, we unfortunately had to move it this week because Mike decided to go to WrestleMania this week. But no WrestleMania next week. We will be back on Monday afternoon. But thank you all for listening, and we'll see you all soon. Go Buccos, baby!
Yes!
Let's keep that Bucko